Hi, welcome. Welcome to the live stream lunch. I'm Yasmine, the Product Marketing Manager at Microsoft Canada. Today, I'll give you quick tips on how to master working from home with Microsoft Teams. We understand that all organizations right now are either empowering or requiring individuals to work from home. And we want to make sure we give you tips to help you set up for success. So let's go ahead and start right in. First step in managing working from home is to set up your home office or your office space for success. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Step 1 is to really designate a specific location and make sure this is separate from your living space. We understand not everyone might have a work office, but you can designate the dining table or a desk in your room, but somewhere you can really designate for work only. Set ground rules with family and friends and whoever you spend time with at home to know that you shouldn't be disturbed as if you're actually in the office. You can even create a sign to communicate with them if you're in an important meeting or call. Second, configure your workspace and try to mimic your office setup. It will help put you in the mood if in the environment that is very similar to what you have in the office. Work with your organization to make sure you have the right devices and peripherals, like monitors, laptops, desktops, docking stations, and headsets. Really, whatever you use in your work environment to help you mimic that environment at your home. If you're used to working in the office, then maybe having a quiet environment might be quite distracting. So maybe play some music or any background music that would make you feel comfortable, to just have that white noise that you're used to. It might help keep your brain focused as it will mimic a similar type of distraction that you've always been used to. Third one is really important. Make sure you call your internet provider to make sure that your bandwidth is good enough to support working from home. And you need to support all the files, the network you'll have access to. You can ask them to run a speed test if you're not familiar with that, and if you're not familiar on how to do it at home, to just make sure you have a good enough bandwidth to handle your work from home scenario. Last one is really to try to continue your normal work routine. One of the biggest challenges as people navigate to work from home, as I went through this myself, I've been actually working between home and the office for the last 5 years. And the most challenging thing was to figure out the work routine, because there's no clear delineation between working from home and commuting to the office. I found myself working way longer hours a day, and I tend to always be online. So try to maintain the standard working hours. Keep your brain in the work mode when it's work mode, and home mode when it's home mode. Also, dress for your office. Don't stay in your pajamas all day. It's all about keeping your brain in work mode and getting your body thinking, yes, I'm going to work now. And make sure you take breaks. When you're at home, it's so easy to get sucked in your work and you actually forget to get up and eat some lunch. So mark them on your calendars if you have to, and really take the time to step away. Maybe go for a walk as the weather is getting great these days, grab some lunch, really make sure you're keeping your normal work mode. All right, so the second step is to make sure you're able to maintain connection. So remember the people that you can no longer walk down the aisle and see. People cannot see that your office door is closed or when you're directing a question, when they're away. So you have to be a little bit more mindful in connecting with your colleagues. So first thing on that side, Microsoft Teams, and this is not a Teams training video. It's if you're not familiar with Microsoft Teams, at the end of the video, I will guide you on where to go for like the how-to training sessions. But for now, just jot down some of these tips and know what you have to learn and how to do it. But the first step really is to configure your personal settings. Test your webcam and headset. Make sure people can see you, hear you, and the audio is good and clear, because that's really going to be your main means for audio and visual communication with your colleagues and customers. Use team status and status message. By default, team status should always pull from Outlook, but there's also a status message, a little note area. And if you haven't used that, I really encourage you to start using it. So if you're going to step away for a few minutes or your head's down on a project or something, put it in a status message area. Again, no one can see your office door closed anymore, or know if you're busy or something. So just give them a little bit more information about what's really going on during your working day. And in Teams, there might be people that you chat with every day, and you're used to just walking next to your colleague, talking to them day in, day out. So pin those active chats in your Teams so you can keep them front and center to have them easier for accessibility. And again, if you don't know how to do that, we'll show you in the training I'll share at the end of the video. Second, do what you need to do to allow your colleagues to virtually see you. I love the do not disturb status. Again, no one walks down the hall and see you're busy or in a meeting or that your office door is closed anymore. So put yourself on the do not disturb status and use the status message to say, hey, it's work mode, or whatever message you would like people to know. And if you're standing in a group, you can simply make eye contact to someone and direct a question. But now they cannot see you anymore. So use the @mention. It notifies the person directly. So if you're chatting in a channel or a group chat, @mention the person to grab the attention. And in meetings and Teams calls, enable video, keep the eye contact as much as you can. You can use background blur or any cool office background that we offer if you don't want people to see the room you're in or even your bed in the background. Last thing on this tip, when you're in meetings, you're not all sitting around in one conference table. First and foremost, make every meeting a Teams meeting. If you're going to be online, don't just make it a conference call. Make it a meeting so you can share information, record your meeting, take notes, and generally do everything you can do if you were in a physical location. Make sure you're using a headset. Don't use your computer speakers. They're usually not of a high quality as your headset would bring, and will also help elevate a lot of background noise. Also, make sure you're leveraging the meeting chat to share files, information, or thoughts, because again, people can't see you physically in the room. And then really make sure to mute when you're not talking, so it allows everyone to have a good experience.